Today we discuss the topic of gear cutting process. In this method, we are using how to making the gear like spur gear and nickel gear, one warm and warm gear. These are the gears we have to how to make and what are the process we have to make. These are the topics to be covered. So these are the topics to be covered like the gear cutting methods, then gear coaching, gear generation process, then finishing of gears. So these are the topics to be covered. So gear cutting methods, we are using five methods basically by using single point form method. So we are using only one. We are using only one tool to maintain and control the gear forming method. Then second one is by using a speed shaping process. We are using it is a number of tools using the process by making of gear. And another one is gear milling using a farm end tool method. So we are using a milling machine. At the time we are using the end mill process. That is third one. Then gear poaching. So poaching operations we have to made using the gear operations. Then finally, it is a template method. It is used to it is one of the copy method we are following by the gear cutting methods. So first one, we are seeing that a single point from farm tool method. So we are using a single point cutting tool in a planner and shaper. We can produce a spur and bevel gear. Okay, so this method using we can use only for spur and bevel gears only. So here farm tool is used to make a gear on the blank, so to be held with the blank and easily to move with to the ram toward promotion at the time to be hold farm cutter to be cutting from your gear cutters, so that is to be happen in the mistake process. So in between the centers and the cutter reciprocates along with the length of the workpiece. So second one is speed shaping process by using a gear cutting operation. So which is usually to form tools method are arranged to rabbit in a cutter head. Cutter head, the number of farm tools are required to the number of teeth to be cut on the gear blank. All the tool spaces are required to cut the same time by the feeding along with the tools towards center the blank during the cutting stroke. So the cutting strokes, the time we cut the remove the party material of a workpiece we happened, that is called as a cutting stroke. So the return stroke without removal of cutting workpiece, so that is called as a return stroke. The meaning of cutting stroke and the return stroke. So the depth of cut can be adjusted by the radial movement, that it should be easily to carry it from the radial movement to the adjustment of depth of cut. That is the process to be using by the speed shaping process. And third one is gear milling using a form end mill. So this method easily to form the shape of gear tooth spaces. This method is easily end mill process to carry the work in between the spindle of vertical milling machine. So the blank is held in the dividing head to be arrested from the in between of against to the cutter. So this axis of cutter and blank is perpendicular to each other. The diagram is clearly shown from the end mill in between the gear blank to engage the process, that is a gear milling using a form end method. So next one is gear poaching to make a internal gears. So we are using to remove material from piece surface gradually by the action of cutting edges arranged in series in the single pass of multi-edge tools. We can easily to maintain the process. There are multi-edge tools also. We are using the method. So these tools which have through a straight path are called poachers. and have very complex elements also. We are using this gear poaching by the making of internal gear methods. So next one is gear poaching. So we are poaching method we to make a internal gear cutting method. The gear cutting equal to the number of teeth are equal to the gear plan. So the diagram will to mention the gear cutting tool. So like 1 up to 5, 1 up to 6. That is the process. That is the elements we have in using the internal gear cutting of gear coaching methods. So So the next one is a gear cutting template method. Here the single point cutting tool reciprocate in a frame. One end of the frame is pivoted and other end is connected with the follower resting on the stationary template. So the tool movement of the gear is profile guided by the template. So at the time the gear blanket to move the reciprocating action, we have to easily to making the gear cutting process by using the template method. The next one is gear generation process. So we know that gear hobbing, gear online method. So these are the finishing process before we have to make the gear generation process. So the gear generation process is the main principle. So we can use at any two invalid gears at the same model which mesh together. One of the machine gear as cutter and to the other will reciprocate and then rotate along the width. So the producing high accurate gears, the following process are to be using the method of gear shaping process and gear planning process and gear hobbing process. These are the three methods are very important gear generation process. So first of all, we see the gear shaping process. So it is one of the attachment of pinion type of cutter is attached, and the proper angle is given to the cutter initially. So the cutter is pointing on the stub or bar and spindle to the machine. So the cutter is actually walk axis to the parallel to the each other. So that the angle is of 6 to 10 degree of making the angle of clearance angle, and the rack angle is 5 degree. So the cutter reciprocates vertically and parallel to the axis of plant. The during this both cutter and work rotate slowly. So the rotations of the cutter generates the gear profile finally. Okay, so these are the gear shaping process. Then next one is gear hobbing process. So the gear blank is mounted on a rotating vertical arbor. The rotating arbor is the in horizontal position. The instruction of these two makes of gear profile on the blank. So next one is finishing of gears. So we are already made the gear like spur gear or helical gear or worm gear and pedal gear. At the time we are using these methods of finishing operations. So like we are using the honing process. It is a process carried out of finishing previously machined surface. It is mostly used for finishing internal cylindrical surface only. It should be the drilled one or bolt holes in between the machining process. The horizontal honing machines. So this is no reciprocating machines to the work in the machining process, but the honing tool rotated and reciprocate to each machining and a lengthy workpiece. So this is the workpiece they have to held with the work of two machines. It should be reciprocate from the machining lengthy to the workpiece. So the next one is vertical honing machines. The work is stationary, but the honing tool will be vertical spindle to the reciprocal machine at the end of the workpiece. So the next one is lapping and polishing machine. So this method is easily process carried out of hand or machine. So the fine abrasive particles are mixed with oil like a vegetable oil and minor oil and kerosene oil, then olive oil and then machine oils. So this oil is spread between the two surfaces. Then these surfaces are rubbed or rotated all over the getting finishing operations by using the polishing machine. This is the machine process of lapping. The types of lapping we had is handmade. So it is the method of hand lapping process for doing the ordinary operations like molding die and press die. Are the example of the lapping process. So the types of machine lapping, so the machine lapping for getting highly finished jobs. So we are getting high accuracy and precisions to be after getting the machine process. So that is most probable we have to prepare for this machine lapping of the process. And lapping media, so we have to using that lapping media, so like the laps of metal and abrasive powders and bonded abrasives and abrasive papers of clothes. So these are the abrasive particles and carbides and belts, abrasive belts, then grinding wheels. Okay, so these are the lapping media we have to followed by the using by the gear manufacturing process. And other process, polishing. So the polishing, this is the similar is grinding process using a abrasive belt or coated wheel. We polish the workpiece. The wheel is to be made up of abrasive paper or cloth, that is etc. So that is a polishing operation. Then buffing is the blinding solutions, the blinding operations. Particles are added to the rotating wheel. Then this wheel is rotate. The work will be a finished process to the buffing process. So the other process also we are using to the grinding gear generation process. Okay, thank you. We can see in the next class.